Now, I've already made a video talking about 2 things that Wuthering Waves does better than Genshin Impact, and it would only be fair if I was actually a neutral party to actually talk about 2 things that I believe that Genshin Impact does better than Wuthering Waves. Now, I want to make it clear once again, this video is not an attack on Genshin Impact players, nor is it an attack on Wuthering Waves players. Some people in my previous video were talking about how I don't need to make this disclaimer. As much as I would like not to make this disclaimer, there are some bad eggs in the community that will just take everything I said out of context, and I am not ready to deal with all of that nonsense. So I'm just going to make it clear that this is not a drama video. Please, if you get offended by it, just take it as entertainment, but all I'm just trying to do is give constructive feedback to the companies of these games. So with that said, let's get into the video. Hey, what is up guys, it's Mordant. So Genshin Impact was one of the first open world gacha games that ever came out, and because of its widespread success, there are a ton of competitors now coming out to try to challenge Genshin Impact and try to get a piece of that pie. And because of Genshin Impact's widespread success, all of these games, no matter how different they may try to be, will try to take some aspects of what Genshin Impact did correctly and implement them into their own game. So when I look at Wuthering Waves, a game that I have been playing since the version 1.0 patch and have been totally wowed by in the version 2.0 era, I think that there are some things that Wuthering Waves could learn from Genshin Impact and actually improve upon. So here are 2 things that I think that Genshin Impact does better than Wuthering Waves, and I really hope that the devs of Wuthering Waves take these things into account and actually try to improve upon these things, because I personally feel it will boost the popularity of the game and make more people want to enjoy this game. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is the marketing of the game. Now, I want to make it clear that it's not like Wuthering Waves has not actually been doing marketing. They have been improving when it comes to marketing, but they have not been doing a very good job. But an example of when they actually tried to do some very good marketing is in version 1.0 of Wuthering Waves. That was a time when they bought out Times Square, they did the tour with a female and male cosplayer of the Rovers, they pushed a ton of ads, and they also sponsored some creators to talk about the game. These were very good times, and that is not what I have a problem with. If we then look at version 2.0 of Wuthering Waves, well, at least to my knowledge, have not seen a single ad for Wuthering Waves. Now, when I say ad, I don't mean YouTube ads, I mean like sponsored creators making ads. Now, this might be because I don't watch a lot of the bigger content creators. I've been spending my time watching a lot of smaller content creators who are making a ton of content that I'm actually enjoying, but I have not even once seen a single person even talk about Wuthering Waves sponsoring a creator or anything. They just launched version 2.0 like that. It's like, bro, why? And then aside from that, there is no other form of marketing that I have seen personally. Now, I could be wrong and you guys can correct me down in the comments, but have you seen any form of marketing both in the virtual world or even in the real world for Wuthering Waves version 2.0 before or after version 2.0 launch? Because I know I haven't, and that is not a good thing. We want to be able to market this game so we can get more people to actually come in and actually play the game. Like I already mentioned this in my video where I talked about the 1.x patches. If you have a good product but people can't use the product, then it's pretty much useless. Wuthering Waves should do a better job marketing their product. Now, aside from the major patches, the mini patches in between, Genshin Impact would normally host a live stream to talk about the things that are going to come in that patch and build up hype. Wuthering Waves goes radio silent all of the time. Like in the version 1.x era, they only held a live stream twice. The first time was when the global launch of the game happened, and the second time was when the Black Shores launched. Why? I don't get why. I have to be very honest. Now, I do understand that some people say that most gacha games don't actually host a live stream every single time, and that's fine, but it doesn't mean that that should be the standard. Hosting a live stream every single time that you have a patch and discussing the things that you want to put in the patch will give content creators a ton of things to talk about, and content creators are essentially free marketing for your game. I do not understand why they decide not to host live streams. And I really wish that in 2.0 they decide to turn this around and actually do some proper marketing, at least in that regard, for all of the patches that are going to be coming, because I personally feel that it will improve the game a whole lot more. Now, I do admit that this point is a little bit subjective, maybe not a little bit, maybe it's very subjective, but the point is, the story of Wuthering Waves from version 1.0 all the way to version 1.4 is very disjointed. Now, I've made a video previously trying to summarize the lore of Wuthering Waves in version 1.0, trying to get people ready for version 1.1, but at that time, I had to go and rewatch the entire story of Wuthering Waves. And I've already mentioned this in a video before, the part that I struggled with the most was at the beginning of the game when Jinsei gave the rover the 4 items that they are supposed to find meaning out of. How we finally got the meaning of all of those items, I never fully understood. And maybe that's just me, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I do feel that the lore of Wuthering Waves can be very disjointed and confusing. And then as for the world building, we don't really have a lot of world quests that tie into the main story. Now, we do have a bunch of side quests that are interesting and have their own subplots within them that are self-contained that I like. For example, the story where the retroact rain is with the pianist and the girl that survived the TD attack. That was a very good story. I loved that little enclosed story. But aside from those subplots that are self-contained, I can't really say that the story feels connected in a way. Like sometimes if you just look away for a second, or if you tune off your brain for just a split second, you can get lost. Like, what is going on? Why is this happening? What were the consequences for this thing happening? Like, it just feels like as though things are being thrown at the wall, and then after a while we just move on from that thing and we forget that the other thing exists. This is honestly a very subjective opinion. There are some people, probably people who have better attention spans than me, who are actually smarter than me, that probably understand everything that happened. But I personally struggled a lot, especially in version 1.0, to understand sometimes what is going on, what were the consequences of this action. Like, I really personally wish that this is resolved. Version 2.0 of Wuthering Waves is doing a much better job at this, and that has been a theme of the video. Wuthering Waves has in fact been improving in these areas, but it can do better, which is why I'm actually bringing this up. I hope that the devs in Kuro, if they see this video somehow, look into the story a bit more. Try to make things feel more cohesive. Try to make it easier for people to understand, because the easier that people understand the story, the easier that casual people understand the story, the easier it is for YouTubers who actually make lore to start making theories about the game. And the more theories that come out, the more people are interested in the plot, and the more people interested in the plot, the more people to play the game. I think you get the idea. Like, for example, if you look at Ashkai or Roosevelt from Genshin Impact, they do in fact make summaries of the game, but it's not like you can't understand what happened in Genshin's story in a single patch at any time. Like, if they don't make the video, you can understand. But then the main attraction to their channel, especially for me, is the lore theories. Like, who is Paimon? Why exactly is Tevat Sky fake? All of these things interest me. But in Wuthering Waves, it's been difficult, and I've wanted to make lore content for a while, but when I'm struggling to understand just the base plot itself, it makes it very difficult. So I personally feel that Wuthering Waves should improve upon this. But like I've said, that's a very subjective opinion. Some of you who do better at this will probably not agree, and that's totally fine. I don't mind in this. I don't mind if people disagree with me on this point. But with all of that said, thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, also challenge videos, sometimes lore videos, sometimes guides, and other times I'll be doing some other fun videos that I like to do. And also join the hideout on Discord. You can suggest videos that I can make there, or you can also do that in the comments, and that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.